All right. Help if I lift that cover off of the camera. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is Friday night. It is 7 p.m. That can only mean one thing. It's time for our weekly 1 hour live stream. How's everyone doing? I hope you all have had a great week. Mine went by pretty quick. Pretty busy week as well. So yeah, time to get the weekend rolling as only we can right here on our live stream. Joining us on the shelf this week, the Showboat BB-55 USS North Carolina, BB-39 USS Arizona, and the star of this week's video, RMS Olympic, also a war hero in her own way. So, let's see. Bedhead 59, a great day when you stream. Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mark, week was rainy and snowy. Yikes. Oh, wow. You must live really far up north to still be getting snow here in April. Wolf, just now started working on my models again, which is nice. Very nice, Wolf. I'm glad to hear that. Looking forward to some updates in the Discord on the model channel. Can't wait to see those. Car is here. How are you doing, Car? Welcome. Hope your week has been good, my friend. So, guys, the way we're going to start off this weekend. Oh, and I noticed earlier in the chat, Mark says he was mentioned on Titanic Honor and Glory's YouTube. James Pinka is live streaming Titanic Adventure Out of Time right now. Speaking of Titanic Adventure Out of Time, guys, look at that. Yes, this is my copy. Still got the discs. Let's see. I'm awful with these camera angles. But there it is. Adventure Out of Time. Someday, I'm going to figure out a way to stream this. Maybe James Pinka would be good enough to explain to everyone, either on his video or through the media, their media somehow, that how he does it. Because I have the game on Steam in addition to the original copies that I just showed you. And I can't get it at the right dimensions or whatever on OBS. And the game skips a lot during the cutscenes on when you play it on Steam. So that's been a couple of issues I've been trying to figure out for a long time. I have not figured that out yet. Excuse me. So, a little bit of news also. as you guys know, next week, just another reminder, will be the whole 1 hour live stream will be Titanic anniversary week. Excuse me. So I know some of our friends aren't the biggest Titanic fans, so I hope you guys will attend. But if you decide not to, I understand. But you may miss out on something if you do. As I mentioned last week, I'm probably going to be doing a giveaway, first ever giveaway on the stream. And what I'll be giving away is this little guy right here. It's a little 6-inch 3D print of Titanic's sister, Britannic. Not the one you always see on the shelf right there. That one's staying with me until I get a copy of, like, I'm trying to do a Titanic conversion to Britannic with one of the kits. I've already begun that process. So I'll be hanging on to that bigger 3D print until such time as that model is complete. But yeah, if you guys are interested, tune in and you might win this little Britannic. So right before we get into our footage for this week, I also want to start off by saying our friend Max visited the USS North Carolina this week, BB-55. One of the reasons why she's up there this week. And with his permission, I am going to show some of the photos that he took on his visit. I too have been to the USS North Carolina. I don't know if you can see right here. Let me stand up a little bit. That's my USS North Carolina shirt that I bought at the ship. And my souvenir magnet that I bought at the North Carolina. So, having said all that, let's go ahead and start by looking at some of Mark's photos. Let's see. And here we go. See, Wolf, North Carolina is probably one of the best U.S. battleships. I wholeheartedly agree with that, Wolf. And I'll attempt to, if you guys want, I'll take the model down and attempt to show you where at on the ship he is. In fact, I'll just go ahead and do that. Let me grab the model. Let's see. So, let's take the stand off. And this might not be the best way to do it, but essentially, from what I'm seeing, he's on the port side. Looks like he's right by the bridge because you can see the two forward turrets. So that would be these two guys right here. And Max, if I get anything incorrect, feel free to correct me. So looks like he's about like right here. This is where the bridge is on the ship. So I'd say he's about right here and he's looking forward. So let's take a look at the next one. I'm guessing this has to be inside the bridge. Looking at the in the wheelhouse, looking at one of the telemotors. Max, yes, by the bridge. Right, that's kind of what I was expecting. I am not sure where this is at on the bridge. Well, not on the bridge, but on the deck. It looks to me kind of how right here you can see where the bow, it looks like the bow to me. It's kind of, you're starting to see that curve, where, you meet at the peak here. I'm guessing he's on the deck somewhere here on the port side. Wolf says looks like the stern. Okay. Max will need you to clarify. Okay, Max says it's aft. Okay, so it's back towards the stern then. So Wolf was right. And I do have some of my own photos of the North Carolina when we went, but I don't show them too often because of the fact that it was a family trip and like all except for like two of my photos where it's me, it's family in the photos, so that's why I don't really show those a whole lot. That's For me, guys, that's off limits. I don't show loved ones on the stream. That's just me. Mark, that's a big shell, right? This is inside one of the turrets. You can see it going out right here. Um, Max, if you can clarify for us which one this is, that would be great, and I can point it out here on model. And by the way, guys, this model here, there is a model contest next week that's going to be relatively close to me. I am entering the North Carolina in that contest because I feel like this is the best model I've ever done, as far as like the quality of work that I have done on a model. So I'm going to be entering it. I Whether or not I win, I don't really care. I just think, you know, I'm really proud of the job I did on this, and I want to see how she does. If I don't win, it's not a big deal. Karen, hello, welcome, welcome. Max, that is the aft one. So back here in the stern section, it's kind of hard to tell which specifically one it is. Maybe this one here on the corner. But yeah, let's see. Let's go on. Max, very nice model. Thank you, Max. I appreciate it. Excuse me. Turret number 3. So I guess this is looking back away from the turrets, from the, or you're inside the turret, but you're facing away from the actual, from the gun. That is this is the souvenir piece that he got while he was there. Original teak from the deck of the most decorated U.S. Navy battleship of World War II. And I have a teak deck of my own. You guys always see this on the stream. I always keep it where you guys can see it. This is original teak deck from the Mighty A, USS Alabama, BB-60. And it's one of my prized pieces. Apologize for the continuous cough, guys. I'm still getting over some sinus stuff. So that's why you're hearing that. So this looks like we're looking aft. It looks like this is one of the funnels right here. Maybe this is the forwardmost funnel. That's kind of what it looks like to me. Because it looks like the other funnel might be behind here. Again, Max can clarify that for us. So, Wolf, I remember when they were selling some pieces of Texas's deck. Kind of wish I got one. Me too, Wolf. Me too. I really do wish I would have. I could have afforded to get it. Because I'll tell you right now, the Alabama one, it cost me a pretty penny. Max, yes, looking aft is. Max, do you remember? Is that the forward funnel? Because that's kind of what it looks like to me. And this has got to be the starboard side, because from what I remember, you see this building right here. This is the museum part where you go in, you buy your tickets, the merch store is in there, all that stuff, and you can see the people walking up to the ship. So I'm guessing this is the starboard side. Okay. Here's a nice view of inside the ship. Maybe the engine room or something. This is a nice view. Yeah, and I'm thinking that this is on the starboard side as well, I believe, because again, this looks like the museum part I was just describing. And she must have gotten a deck replacement recently. Look how nice and clean this looks. Now, Alabama also got the teak deck replacement recently too, and as you can see, I bought one of the original pieces. So let's see. I want to say it looks to me like Max. Yes, the forward funnel, but it's port side. Okay, gotcha, Max. It's kind of hard for me to tell what this is. I want to say it looks like the center tower here. Well, no, because there's a radar right here. It must be this tower right here. See where right here where my finger is, and just aft of the aft funnel, because it looks like you see the radar right here. Here it is, and I'm not sure what this is, but it looks like this right here. So he looks like he's right around in this section, and he's looking aft towards the back of the ship. So, and again, Max, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's where you're standing. And notice the stripe here at the bottom of the piece. Now, if it is this little skinny tower, it was too small for me to put a stripe on that, but I don't know how well you can see it. But on both of the forward and the aft funnel, I did put that stripe on both funnels here on the model. I don't know if you can see it too well or not. Let's see. Here's one of the I forget what inch those guns are. It looks like they're doing some type of construction work over there too. And that looks like all of them. So let me go ahead and put the model back up here on the shelf. And after I do that, we'll get started with the footage this week. All right. So we'll put her back up right there. And Car says 5-inch. Okay, it's 5-inch guns. Nice. Thank you, Car. Appreciate that. So let me get our footage going. Let's see. All right. And here we go. We're going to take a look at BB-55 in action, at least in World of Warships. So while we're doing that, guys, going to share some what is an unfortunate piece of news with you guys from the USS Kidd. Let me see. Let me pull this up. A member of, or former member of the Kidd's crew passed away this week. And this, sorry guys, this is from the Kidd's Facebook page. It says, it is our sad duty to report the passing of former crew member Robert James Rudder Sr. on April 1st, 2024. A native of Columbia, Pennsylvania, he joined the Navy after graduating high school and served a 4-year enlistment, apparently all of it aboard USS Kidd, DD-661. Before spending 2 more years in the Naval Reserve out of Philadelphia, he served as a torpedoman 3rd class aboard the Kidd from November 1958 to August 1962. During his time aboard, Mr. Rudder would have been present for the international crisis over the bombardments of Quemoy, Quemoy, and Matsu by Communist China in 1958. Kidd's transit through the Panama Canal to the Atlantic Fleet in 1959. The mobilization during the Berlin Wall crisis in 1961. The show of force off the Dominican Republic during the fall of the Trujillo dictatorship I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly. I apologize. In 1961, in Kidd's time as the training ship for the destroyer school at Newport, Rhode Island in 1962. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Rudder family during this time of loss, of course. So that is from the Kidd. So certainly wish his family well, and I think obviously we certainly appreciate his time and service to our country. Max, thanks for putting my picks in the stream. Max, thank you for giving me permission to put them in the stream. I would never do anything like that without you guys' permission. So again, it's and I've said this before, like with our footage that we're looking at. If you guys have footage you want to send that we can look at, you guys got real pictures of ships you've been on that you want to send. I want to show as much variety of things as possible. And I know Carr has been working on some new footage as well that we'll probably be looking at in a couple of weeks. I have next week is already planned out. As you guys know, it's going to be all Titanic for next week's stream. Honor and Glory is going to be we're gonna do some Honor and Glory. I got a couple of other things that I'm going to be doing as well. Wolf. That's sad, very much so, Wolf. Mark, the last survivor of Pearl Harbor, also died this week. He was 102 years old. We are going to be talking about that, Mark. I don't know if he's the last survivor of Pearl Harbor. The article says he was the last survivor of the Arizona. So, but yeah, we will be discussing that. In fact, while I'm thinking about it, I may just go ahead and pull up the article on that too. Wolf, maybe if I visit Lexington this year, I'll take some photos of her and we could share on the stream in the future. Absolutely, Wolf. And if you guys want, I don't believe I have ever shared my pictures of my visit to the Texas to dry dock when I went visit the Texas. If you guys want, I can get those together and show them on a future stream if you want to see those. But anyway, let me pull up the article. And this is kind of a lengthy article. I'm going to read a good bit of it, guys, because it talks about a lot of what happened that day, December 7th, 1941. So, last survivor of USS Arizona dies at 102. This is from Navy Times, and it was dated Monday, April 1st. Karen, you talk about the different ships named after states. Was there a ship named after Louisiana, and is it still around? Let me write that down. So, we'll go ahead and talk about that real quick, and then we'll go into the article, guys. USS Louisiana, BB-19. She was a pre-dreadnought class battleship. What was the nickname for those ships, Wolf? It was something about the fact that they were all painted white. She does not exist anymore. This is really, really choppy. I'm not sure why. Okay, there we go. Let's see. So, she fought in World War One. She was not sunk. I believe after World War One, the Great White Fleet. That was the nickname for ships painted in the color scheme that Louisiana was painted in. And she served in World War One. She survived World War One, and I believe she served as like a training ship for some time after the war. She was eventually scrapped. The bell was preserved, the ship's bell, and I believe And I don't know. I've been told that it's at the USS Kidd Museum, but I don't ever recall seeing it there. It's something I need to look into. But yes, there was a BB-19, Louisiana, and that is a short version of her history. Wolf. Every state had a battleship besides Alaska, Montana, and Hawaii. And really, Montana is the one that got the really short end of the deal on that. There was never a chance for Hawaii or Alaska to have a battleship named after them because they did not become states until after the United States stopped making battleships. Unfortunately, though, for Montana, she never got the call. But there was supposed to be the Montana class battleships. They were never built because by the time the conception came into being, this was during World War II, and it would have around this time it was when the United States realized that air superiority was the wave of the future for future warfare, not who had the biggest boat with the biggest guns. So the Montana class never came into being, and the Montana class was the ones that were supposed to rival the Japan's Yamato class, the largest battleships ever built. Um, Unfortunately, though, they never saw the light of day, and which is especially sad because one of them was supposed to be another USS Louisiana. It was supposed to be BB-70. Wolf. Now there are large cruisers which were named after Alaska and Hawaii. And now, like all the nuclear subs and stuff are named after states. So the Navy didn't completely do away with naming vessels after states. And there is a nuclear powered USS Louisiana, and there is a model of that sub at the Kidd. I know for a fact because I've seen it, every time I've been there. So, having said all that, let's go ahead and I'm going to read you guys some of the article about this gentleman. His name is Lou Conter, and he was the last surviving member of the crew of the USS Arizona from the day that lives in infamy. Lou Conter, one of the last living ties to that date of infamy, has passed away this morning, April 1st, at his home in Grass Valley, California. Born in Ojibwa, Wisconsin, Conter enlisted in the U.S. Navy in 1939 at the age of 18. 2 years later, he would bear witness to the attack that finally drew the United States into the Second World War. Starting his shift as quartermaster at 7:45 a.m. on December 7th, 1941, Conter had barely rubbed the sleep from his eyes when the Japanese assault began a mere 3 minutes later. At exactly 8:09, the hull of the USS Arizona was struck by a 1,760-pound Japanese armor-piercing bomb. Japanese horizontal bombers swirling overhead continued to cause damage, striking the Arizona's midship areas. The massive explosion that soon followed has never been explained, according to the Naval History and Heritage Command, since the bomb did not pierce Arizona's armored deck. It is believed, however, that the bomb that penetrated her forward turrets struck nearly 1 million pounds of gunpowder, causing the turrets, conning tower, and much of the superstructure to be obliterated. The ship continued to burn for more than 48 hours after the attack. And this is a quote from Mr. Conter, and he said, "Minute it happened, we sounded general quarters, and they were in there, and we blew up in about 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Knocked over from the blast, Conter landed on the deck, which was rapidly filling with water. Despite the conflagration spreading throughout the badly listing ship, Conter remained composed, spending nearly 35 minutes attempting to secure the quarterdeck and saving nearly 20 sailors." Of the 2,403 American sailors, soldiers, and civilians killed that day, 1,177 came from Arizona's crew. Conter was just one of 335 aboard the battleship to survive. But his duty to Arizona's crew did not cease on December 7th. Conter joined numerous rescue operations to recover the bodies of his shipmates in the chaotic days that followed the attack. I'm skipping ahead a little bit. Although most of the fuel aboard the ship fed the explosion, 500,000 gallons of slowly seeped from the wreckage, oil that is, the release said. Nearly 80 years after the attack, Arizona continues to spill up to 9 quarts of oil per day into the harbor. This is often referred to as the tears of the Arizona. Nearly 900 sailors still lie entombed in the Arizona. Skipping ahead a little bit more, Conter survived the war despite being shot down twice over the Pacific and went on to serve in Korea as an air intelligence officer. Upon returning home, he worked to establish the Navy's first survival, evasion, resistance, and escape program and served as a military advisor to Presidents Dwight Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, and Lyndon Johnson. And he retired from the Navy after 20 years of service. So, yeah, that's what a life that guy led. Wow. And again, we give thanks to him for his service to our country. And it's really a bummer, guys, that if you think about two different types of ships, Titanic and the Arizona, two ships that have played, for one reason or another, have played a major role in human history. And now the survivors from both ships they're all gone now. Of course, we know Melvina Dean was the last survivor of the Titanic. She passed away in 2009. And now Mr. Conter for the Arizona. Getting back to the chat here, Mark says Montana would be a good name for a ship. I agree. You know what else would be a good name? Louisiana. Let's see. Wolf says, I believe the submarine Louisiana is a Virginia-class submarine. I am not certain on that, Wolf. I don't really know a whole lot about the more modern ships, including submarines. So I'm definitely going to take your word on that. And going back to the Arizona for a minute, guys, I know I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. We all know how much of a fan of the kid that I am. On December 7th, 1941, Rear Admiral Isaac C. Kidd was on the USS Arizona. That was his flagship vessel. He was on the bridge on December 7th, 1941, and he perished in the attack. The same Admiral Kidd, that USS Kidd, DD-61, is named after. And there were two more ships, of course, named right after her. Wolf Gaming. Hiya. Hello. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Oh, okay. Apparently Wolf Gaming is someone that our friends know. Riley. Hello, Riley. Welcome. How are you doing? How is your evening going? How has your week been? We're just looking at the North Carolina here. We were just talking about a gentleman by the name of Mr. Mr. Conter. He was Lou Conter, my apologies. He was the last surviving member of the crew of the USS Arizona to pass away. And that's what we were just discussing. Let's take a look, see how far along we are. We're actually not very far in the footage. I'm going to skip along here for a bit, guys. We're already like over a half hour past the hour. So let's see. Yeah, that's a good spot to skip ahead just for a bit. We're still looking at the North Carolina. Wolf, pretty cool to think every USS kid is still around. I agree. Um, I was thinking about something too before the stream, guys, and I remember asking this question. I did a poll on this question on the YouTube channel, and I want to get some of your opinions. I may have asked you this before. I apologize. I apologize if I did, and I don't remember, but I'm going to ask it again. Time machine question. If you could go back in time and save one of these ships from being scrapped, which one do you choose? And it can only be one or the other. Mauritania or Olympic? Which one do you choose? I don't even have to answer. It's pretty obvious which one I am going to pick here. But needless to say, I would be extremely sad that I could not save the Mauritania as well. So yeah, that is my question. Again, I apologize if I've already asked this. Mark is with Olympic. Titanic nerd. Hey, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome. Titanic nerd picks Olympic. Wolf picks Mauritania. So Mauritania's getting some love here. Yep. Max says, "Ooh, that's hard, but I guess Maury." So we got some Mauritania love in here, and I'm all for that. Oh, and here we go, guys. We're switching ships here. We have in front of us BB-39, USS Arizona. I believe that the Arizona is also in War Thunder, and I know obviously Carr plays War Thunder. Uh, can you verify that for me, Carr, if you're still watching? So Titanic nerd says, "Hey, how are you, my friend? Hope you've had a good week. Welcome to the stream." Since you're here, I know you commented on one of my building the Titanic models about the Olympic. You were pointing out some differences to me between Titanic and Olympic. I was able to incorporate one of your one of the things you pointed out to me. Unfortunately, I was not able to do the other, and I'll show you in just a second here. Wolf, USS Arizona looks beautiful as ever. If only her reload wasn't so slow. Right? Only thing I never understood, and maybe one of you guys can tell me, is why did they paint the two towers white? And, the rest of the ship is, the usual gray or whatever. I know why the tops of the turrets are red. In case anyone does not know, you notice all the turrets, all three turrets, the tops are painted red. When the planes for each ship were in the air, they painted the tops of the turrets red, so when the plane is returning to its ship, it could identify by color which ship was the ship to, it was their ship. Because, I'd imagine far off from looking down from the air, they all look kind of a lot alike. It may be really hard to tell the difference between them until you're almost on top of them. So that's why they did that. But since Titanic Nerd's here, I'm going to let you take a good close-up look at the Olympic. Now, bear in mind, she's not fully complete. I still have to run the rigging from for the Marconi wires. I have not done that yet. Wolf says, I believe that was for identification. Yes, Wolf, the turret color was indeed for identification. So, Titanic Nerd, one of the things, I took your recommendation or your advice. You notice up here, I left the pipe that runs here from the deck onto the bottom of the fourth funnel here. Because I remember you telling me that Olympic did not have that in 1911, but it was added in the 1913 refit. So I did leave that off. And I remember there was a chimney here on top of the second class entrance. Unfortunately, I don't have a way of making that. I'm not quite that skilled. So, and plus, I haven't seen a full picture of it. I've seen one picture, and it was like the very corner of it. So I wasn't fully sure what it looks like either. The officers' quarters, I went ahead and left the same because actually, when I saw your comment, I had already completed this section, and I didn't want to go and butcher it because that's basically what I would have done, unfortunately. And you can see with the wood decks that I've put on it, it just lines up that way. You know, it was made for Titanic, but it still fits perfectly on this kit. So, other changes on Titanic, you can't really see it in the model here, but as we all know, right here forward on A deck on Titanic, you had the doors right here on each side. Olympic did not have those. I did leave those off of Olympic, despite that coming with the kit. So those are the changes that I could make as best to my ability to make or try to make Olympic as accurate to the real ship as I could. And he says, looks great. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And next Friday, part two will be coming out, so you can see how I finished building the model. Mark, oh no, Arizona is on fire. She wasn't on fire for long, Mark. And that battle was won, by the way. So yeah, there's Olympic. And again, I have another Titanic model. I have begun the process of converting that Titanic model to Britannic. We'll see how good I can get it because I'm going to really go all out and try to make custom pieces. I've got 3D printed pieces of the elevated the top upper deck here on the poop deck, the raised or extra level right here on the well deck. I've got 3D prints of the gantry davits. So I will be trying as best I can to make Britannic as close to accurate as possible too. So yeah, Mark, Arizona was on fire. Arizona was not on fire for very long. We can't allow that to happen. So, having said all of that, guys, what I know some of you play warships, some of you do not. A bunch of anchors. How many of you actually play this game? Just out of curiosity. Like I said, I know for sure Carr plays War Thunder. Um, I know Wolf plays this, but he plays on console or something. I just like to get an idea, of who plays what. And by the way, Arizona will not be the last ship that we're looking at this evening. Yeah, Wolf says, I play. You've been playing a different version of it too, Wolf. Have you not? And also, and speaking of games, there hasn't been, I don't think Mike Brady hasn't put out any updates on Grand Voyage, has he? And also with games, I don't know if he's still doing it, but James Pinka with Honor and Glory he was live streaming this old game, Adventure Out of Time. So I'm glad you're watching me instead. You can always go back and watch the replay of that. Titanic Nerd. Actually, never played it. No worries. Just curious. Titanic Nerd. Since you're in here, this is another question. I got a few questions for you. If you don't mind me asking, I always like to ask some questions to when people join us for the first time. Are you into warships and ocean liners, or do you just prefer one or the other? Max, I used to play it a lot, but very rarely play now. I'm the same way. I play it in spurts, guys. I get real excited about it, and I play it for a little while. Then I get kind of bored with it, and I put it down for a while. The issue I have with the game is the grinding, and they don't make the game. They don't cater to the casual player, and that's a big issue that I have with the game because I'm not going to sit here for days on end playing this. They seems like they only cater to streamers. People who just grind this game day in and day out, and that's just not me. I don't do that with any game. This is not a gaming channel, Bill Keys. Let's see. Wolf, yes, I've been playing Legends, which is a console version. Which console are you playing it on? Is it PlayStation? Let's see. Mark, I like to play it. Max, yeah, it's fun. Wolf, my issue is grinding and also that I suck. Hey, I am not the greatest at it either, but it's still fun. It can be fun. When you win, it's just that much more sweet. So yeah, Axe Titanic Nerd, does he like warships and ocean liners? And I don't mean the game warships. I mean just like warships in general. We'll see what his response is. And while we're at it, I asked the question earlier. Well, hang on. Well, it says PS4, but I've been playing a port of it, which they released on tablet. Interesting. Hmm. Yeah, we'll be looking at your favorite Iron Duke in a few weeks, Wolf. I've got some more footage of her, and once we get through Titanic Week, if you can remind me, we'll take a look at Iron Duke again. Yeah, things just kind of fell perfectly for this week's stream with Max going to the North Carolina, um, Olympic being complete. Things just kind of lined up perfectly for this week's stream. And I will try to share some pictures more. I'm going to start doing that more often, guys, with the stream. I want to start showing more pictures of the ships. So I know some of you guys have been to the Queen Mary. If you would like to send some photos in so we can look at the Queen and discuss her, we can certainly do that. Also, Steve from Blue Ribbon, he couldn't make it tonight. However, we are talking about collaborating again. Get him back on the stream. I know we pretty much only scratched the surface when he was on last time about his Queen Mary knowledge. So I want to get him back on and pick his brain some more about the Queen. Wolf, that would be great. Referring to the Iron Duke. Yeah, I mean, I got the ship now, so I can record as much footage as I want. With Arizona, I don't have that luxury because I don't own the ship in the game. So every now and then, when they make the ship free to play for a few days, that's how I get this footage of Arizona. Wolf, I can send you some photos of certain ships if you want, just historical ones, though. Yeah, yeah, well, that's what we're all about here, Wolf. I call this live stream History TV. That's what we're all about. Speaking of which, guys, there's a merch store now. If you go to the YouTube channel, we've got some All American Travels merch. If anybody is interested, and I will be looking to get some designs made up with some of the ships that we're always talking about, so we can get some merch going with that. But for now, it's just the main logo for the channel that you see on some merch with another custom logo as well, created by my buddy Bill Keys. Moonzer's here. How are you doing, Moonzer? I saw you posted some photos from the Queen recently. Did you recently make a trip to the Queen, or is Queen Mary, by the way, or is that some older photos that you already had from a different visit? Titanic nerd. I don't really know that much about warships. I'm more into ocean liners because of the history of the Titanic and others. Sure, I was very interested in Bismarck for a while. Okay, that's good to know. And there was no right or wrong answer to that, Titanic nerd. That's just me being curious. And I'm judging by your name. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm guessing you are more into Titanic and White Star than you would be the Cunard ships. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Let's see. Wolf, any ships you would like to show pictures of on live stream? It doesn't really matter, Wolf. I'm not really. It doesn't really matter one way or another. But I definitely, and especially if it's ships that you guys have been to in person, that's like extremely fun. And I want to, oh, you're, I want to, I will be start in the future sharing more pictures from ships that I've visited as well. And again, as I mentioned earlier, if you guys want, I can show the pictures of when I visited the Texas at dry dock. Moonzer asked, "Do you think they should save the Russian sub that's alongside the Queen Mary?" I personally am for preserving any old vessel, even that one, Moonzer. Uh, from what I have vague, I know Steve and I didn't really discuss it a whole lot, but from what I can remember. According to him, the sub is so far gone, it's pretty much beyond saving. From what I understand, it has serious hull integrity issues, and it's too far gone to where it would be worth saving at this point, from what I remember. Mark says, Bismarck Majestic. Bismarck, SS Bismarck, also RMS Majestic, would be my favorite of the Imperator class ships, followed by Leviathan, then Berengaria. Moonzer, that was my first trip to the Queen Mary in August 2023, so about 7 months ago. I'll often send pics I snapped through the 6 to 12. I took a lot of pictures. I sent some in the photography channel in the server. Yes, I saw them. Moonzer, very nice. Definitely appreciate you sharing that with us. If you're okay with them, I'll share some of those pictures on the stream one week. But I will not include the ones that you are in. I'm not going to put anyone's picture of themselves on the live stream. Titanic nerd, I really like the Cunard ships and ocean liners in general, but the Olympic class has a special place in my heart. My man. Yes, I could not possibly agree more. I love the Cunard ships. Queen Mary is my favorite Cunard ship. I'm very fond of Lucy and Mauritania. Um, I love the Imperator class, but the Olympic class, yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Let's see. Moons, anything is quite possible. Referring to the sub by the Queen Mary. Yes, anything is possible, but I dare say it's unlikely. Wolf, quite sad about the Russian sub, since I believe the only other Russian sub preserved here was also scrapped. I don't know, Wolf. I'm going to take your word on that one. Mark, thank you, Mark. How could we possibly not mention the ship Beautiful, Aquitania, as one of our favorite Cunard ships? Because she's definitely up there. Moonzer, I think the sub is a safety hazard for people thinking they're so cool and about sneaking aboard the sub. That's common for people to do. There's even videos of a guy and his friend doing it. Yeah, that's what we call trespassing, guys. So not only is it probably not safe, let's just go on the assumption and I don't know how bad off the sub is, but from what I remember, it's pretty bad off. Let's just say that thing decides to finally sink or capsize and you're in that thing illegally and that thing goes under and you can't get out. No, people ain't even going to know that you're in there. Titanic nerd, I'm from Sweden, so my spelling is weird sometimes. No, you're good, man. You're good. Guys, our final ship of the evening. Here we go. Look at this beauty. Guys, I wonder who we could be looking at right here. Could this be Old Reliable? Yes, it is. I see the name on the hull. And again, this is our footage that was given to us by Milan. He created Olympic and Titanic in a game called Simple Planes. And of course, he created two of the Olympic class ships in a game that's designed for planes, guys. Yes, yes, Old Reliable. Titanic nerd, wow, you're from Sweden. That's amazing that you're here. I know it's got to be really late for you over there. So, I mean, really, thank you for hanging out with us. I really do appreciate that. Well, I'm glad we can end off with one of your favorite ships, also one of my favorite ships, Old Reliable. Uh, Moonzer, that's cool. You can share pics. I'm okay with ones with me. No, I'm not going to show anyone's a picture of anyone, Moonzer. It's just a rule that I'm going to have. Anybody can submit pictures that they've taken on any ship, but they cannot be in the picture. That's going to be my rule for it. But I appreciate the offer though. Mark said raccoon sub, referring to the one next to the Queen. Max, Old Reliable, Titanic nerd Olympic. Yes, sir. Wolf, looks like Mauritania. Not quite. I don't see what all the fuss is about. It doesn't look any bigger than the Mauritania. Mark, Olympic. Moons are, I got nicknamed the Raccoon Island. Looks pretty cool. James, do you like Blue Star Line's videos? I do. I have watched some of his videos in the past. He does really good work. I haven't seen much stuff from him lately. I don't know if he's not been putting out as much stuff. I don't know for sure. Um, as far as like the ship channel guys, I have to say, and you guys can agree to disagree, or if you share my opinion, Mike Brady has just separated himself from the pack. I mean, he is the top ship channel guy for me. He is by far my favorite now. That's just my opinion. I love his videos. I'm sure you guys, for the rest of you that are subscribed to his channel, um, he put out a certain video. I think it was last weekend. I think his videos usually come out like on Sunday or something, Sunday my time anyway, where he talked about a certain theory, a certain ridiculous, moronic, idiotic theory. And there's going to be a part two, and he completely shredded this certain theory before we even get to part two. I love it. I was smiles from ear to ear the whole time I was watching it. Mark, I love Mike's work. Wolf Mike is definitely one of the best. Max Mike is the GOAT. I certainly agree with all of that. Titanic near that one. Mark, yay, the switch theory. Ugh, whatever. I'm so glad he finally came out with a video like that, guys. I love the fact that he put one out because he debunks it in only a way that he can. Boozer, I think if the RMS Olympics still existed today, she would probably be renamed to Titanic 2 for a museum ship. I think it would possibly happen. I think there would be a boatload of outrage for that. I would definitely not want Olympic to be renamed anything but Olympic. That's just my opinion, though. Moser, Mike has good videos. Yes, he does. Wolf, switch theory is so dumb. It's got to be the dumbest thing. There are other switch, they're not switch. There are other conspiracy theories about the Titanic, but oh my God, the switch theory is it's the dumbest one by far. That's the best I can say about it. So, Moonzer, I want to get Mike's QM poster. I also want him to make a QE poster. And he says he agrees with me. Well, thank you. Yeah, I guess you're talking about his illustrations, Moonzer, the ones that Mike does, and they're great, by the way. Mark, Olympic is Olympic, yes. Unless you're calling her by her acceptable nickname, the Old Reliable. You know, that's the only other thing I would ever tolerate this beauty being called. And car V brake, yeah, that's another dumb one, by the way. So yeah, we won't be discussing those next week, by the way, guys. We're going to be talking about the real ship, or the real story, what really happened. Yeah. So anyway, guys, we are approaching the end of the stream here. And just one more time, I want to give props to Milan for making this incredible footage of Olympic for us. And by the way, Titanic Nerd, you mentioned you're in Sweden. You're probably not too far away from Milan. He is in Uruguay. And we do have a Discord server if you're interested in joining. I'm sure one of our friends here could link you to that if you're interested. You know, it's not required, just if you're interested. So guys, let me go over the list of content as I always do. All times are U.S. Central Time. We have a random video short of the day, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock. Today's was the steam whistle from the Steamboat Natchez that I wrote a couple of weeks ago. We have our video of the week, which comes out every Friday at 7 a.m. And as you guys know, this week was part 1 of building Old Reliable. Next week will be part 2. And every Friday evening, 7 o'clock, again, U.S. Central Time, is our 1-hour live stream. Reminder, next week will be Titanic anniversary. That is what the whole live stream will be about. I'm planning to give away this little guy right here, little 6-inch 3D print of Britannic. And we will explain how that happens on the live stream next week. So, well, we got about 1:34 left of this, so we'll watch this till the very end. So that is our content schedule, and I definitely want us to leave right here on this note. We can see Olympic sailing at night, and what a beautiful sight that is. It's incredible the job that he did on this model. Again, for a game that is about airplanes, he built 2 Olympic class liners in that game. I mean, that's just incredible, guys. So, having said all that, that's wrapping us up for this week, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me as always. You guys are the ones that make this stream possible, and you make it so much fun for me to be able to talk to you guys and interact with you every week here. So, we're going to close it out here, right here, looking at Olympic. And of course, he's doing the $1 million shot here. Titanic Nerd, welcome again to the stream. We're glad you came and hang out with us. Moon's a very good stream. Sorry I was late. Good night, folks. No problem, Moon. You show up whenever you can. It's not a big deal. You come whenever you can. So, guys, thanks again for watching. I will see you next week, same time, for Titanic Anniversary. So until then, in the meantime, enjoy your weekend. And as always, drive safely.